Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So there's a video that's been making a lot of waves, and not in the places and not in the ways that you'd expect. So we all know January 6th is a major topic of discussion for people who know what they're talking about and a lot of people who don't. It's especially a topic when it comes to Donald Trump's involvement. Even though his speech literally said peaceful protest, it's literally on video for any of these folks that wish to see it. And if they can see it without their worldview completely dissolving. So, there's completely unproven and unprovable claims of incitement from the left. And the burning question for most thinking people like you and me, how did the events that day even happen like they did? How are they allowed to happen? So there's a video that Tucker Carlson did, and heads up guys, this did not come out from Fox. They silenced this. And probably one of the many reasons that they had to get rid of the guy. So Tucker talks with ex-Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund, and the conversation is eye-opening, to say the least. So Sund, he hints that some officials might have known about what was going to happen on January 6th in advance, or at least the high likelihood that something like this would happen. And they didn't act on the information. They did absolutely nothing. And you guys have got to see this for yourselves. I'll let these guys speak for themselves. But before we do, guys, thanks to everyone who's been subscribing and leaving such great comments. We very, very much appreciate the support. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the Common Sense Garage. And every time you do, a leftist loses their wings. So check this out.
And again, we know from the testimony of the FBI director that there were intelligence, whatever you want to call them, operatives, people who were in contact with the FBI were in the crowd that day, not identified as such. Would that information have reached you? Would you know about that?
So it's interesting you asked that, because within a few days of January 6th, I had a media reach out to me and go, "Hey, you aware FBI had undercovers in the crowd?" I was like, "Oh no, they would have told me." I had Steve D'Antonio that had Washington Field Office on a call the day before. Didn't say anything to me about it. And now to see that they allegedly, according to the GAO report, had 18 operatives in the crowd, that's a lot of operatives. So when you look at the intelligence, intelligence was handled differently than any of those big events that we talk about, especially for a big event that we see now, the threat stream that was associated with it. Whether it was IMF, World Bank, you remember the 2000
very, very
IMF,
well. I was there for that. Yeah.
2000, the Bush inaugurations, the violence with that. We would have had an executive briefing with the FBI, would have been called into a SCIF, all the local chiefs saying, "Hey, this is the type of stuff we're seeing." There would have been what's called a JIB, a joint intelligence bulletin push out. None of that was done this time. No conference call. I mean, it would have been usual for FBI to host a regional conference call.
But you think 18 is a lot for that kind of event?
I think so. I mean, I would think so. And the fact that we weren't aware, and I think DHS is now saying they had a number of HSI, Homeland Security Investigations people in there as well. So it sounds like a number of the intelligence agencies had resources in the crowd.
So it was in the parlance of the internet, it was crawling with feds.
I would say there's a fair amount of law enforcement in the crowd. That's what it now appears when you add the 18, and I think DHSI said they had 20, possibly 20 out there, if not more. That starts turning into a lot of people.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, I have not. Not that many. Not for a major event in Washington, D.C., down to the mall. I might expect to see, Secret Service may have some undercovers. Yeah, FBI may have a couple.
So the former police chief, Capitol Police Chief, that the mainstream media has literally no interest in talking to, mind you. They'd rather talk to folks way down the ladder, even though these people do not have a full picture. They don't have any details. And keep in mind that these are the same trust the experts kind of people that are ignoring this guy, who's an actual expert. But this chief, and some of the footage that did get out, he expressed a lot of concerns about how January 6th happened. He mentioned that he couldn't get the National Guard in on time, and he was left out on a lot of key info. He didn't even know that there were intelligence people in the crowd. And this kind of stuff has got to make even someone who fully and completely trusts their government completely wonder. And if you're out there in the comments, how do you see this kind of stuff and hear this kind of stuff and not wonder about A, what your government did, and B, what they're telling you? It seems, so at least Chief Sund, he believes that there was some kind of cover-up. And when you do connect the dots, it feels like some people probably wanted a January 6th type situation to escalate. Despite Trump saying to keep it peaceful, they wanted this kind of outcome. They wanted the president facing legal action, or at least having that day just disqualify him from anything else. See, I told you so kind of thing. And the mainstream media, they label anything that goes against the popular narrative as a conspiracy. Even Joe Rogan, he got a lot of heat for even discussing alternate takes on January 6th. And, remember when the media shamelessly told their viewers to basically not watch Tucker Carlson, as if their viewers just couldn't handle seeing a picture that doesn't fit with the narrative that they've been fed for who knows how long. And they probably can't. A lot of people, when they see that kind of thing, your brain melts. It's hard to admit that you've been lied to and taken advantage of and you've been a fool. But there is footage that suggests, people were even egging on the crowd to cause more chaos. Yet the media paints it like it was this super violent uprising. And they swear to you that our government was dangerously close to being overthrown and lost forever to a bunch of unarmed, angry people in costume. Even Fox knows, they're tiptoeing around this stuff. Tucker Carlson, before getting canned, was diving into some pretty deep waters with this stuff. And some people are even wondering if this is the topic that actually did get him canned in the end. I always thought it was his take on Ukraine. But if any of this is true, it kind of suggests that Fox might not be as unbiased as they claim. But who'd have thought that? But anyway, in the world of 2023, guys, in our politics, it feels like that what's labeled as a conspiracy today is probably just tomorrow's truth, and vice versa. Funny how, things deemed conspiracy theorists, people deem conspiracy theorists, they're probably onto something, while mainstream media channels so far are way off the mark. And how can this be by accident, this many times? It's got to be on purpose. That's just my take, guys. What do you guys think, man? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the Common Sense Garage. I'll see you in the next one.